And we're back for some more Return to Castle Wolfenstein craziness. Now, I'm not sure, I forget what the actual alternate fire is for this particular game. We could have put the silencer on that Luger there. Oh, I think we could. I don't know if that carries over or if you have to cheat that in or not. Now it doesn't matter what we do. We can make as much noise as we want. We'll actually use the 1911, although the 1911 technically only holds, and he would have shot me. It's not me shooting, just a innocent technician. I like how he just like, what was that? That's a 45 slug, dude. You would not just be like, what was that? A tiny gnat? This guy's just completely clueless, which is why we shot him. That was kind of a hilarious little animation glitch there, though. But like, these technicians will shoot you, although some of them will try to surrender to you later in the game, and we will let them surrender because we are a ethical avatar of war here. We will not just shoot unarmed prisoners or anything like that. Although, you know what's funny? People talk about these games being overly violent. These games are as violent as you want them to be. Technically, you know, BJ here is fighting World War II. You can't really fault him for that, you know. But, like, if you do just shoot unarmed prisoners, it's still just a game. But I honestly would never do such a thing myself, and I wouldn't really. Because I don't particularly like doing that. But, like, that's still an individual's choice. Just banning the game outright isn't going to stop anything. It's like banning guns outright. That's not going to stop violence. Like, I don't understand where people get these idiotic ideas. I think they just don't know any better. See, that's the thing. A lot of people really hate anti-gunners and stuff like that. I don't hate them. It's just, I recognize that they just don't know. All they know is propaganda. Guns are bad, and that's why, you know, you gotta ban them. When they don't know that that's not going to solve anything. They just don't know, and sometimes it's very hard to even tell them that it's not a good idea. That guy's completely clueless too. It's hard to even tell them because, like, well, you were just corrupted by propaganda. I had somebody comment that, you know, me liking guns was bad because my grandfather just gave me so much propaganda while I was growing up. Like, that's funny for reasons like that is on par with your knowledge of the land shall be great from Ultima 9. Okay, like that. See, I told you he was going to shoot at us. It's hilarious because if you were to know my grandfather, he's not someone to give out propaganda. He's like me in many respects. He doesn't really like, you know, just slogans and things of that nature. So that really isn't an accurate statement. But then again, it wasn't meant to be. It was likely just a trolling statement, but I just found it funny. Because it's like, your knowledge of the land shall be great. What? I mean, who are the gargoyles? I never played any of the Ultima games, but I love that Spoonie video. Spoonie, come back already! Just come back! Make a goddamn video already! Now, if we had any grenades, we could blow them up, but we're going to blow them up anyway. And once again, they're totally clueless. Hey, dudes! Boom! And that only blew up one guy. Look at those gibs! Or jibs, I forget. Is it jibs or gibs? Or do I really care one way or the other? Now, like this, I think these are also SS men. Now, one problem with this particular level that I have is, like, he's shooting at us. Some of these guys actually surrender. Yeah, like that guy. Like, I'm not going to shoot him, but you know what's funny? There's actually a graphical... Get out of the way, idiot! Now, realistically... Okay, realistically, he'd probably already have been shot or shoved out of the way, but the thing is the game. What is he doing? Is he dancing or something? Okay, that guy's got a gun. And likely he's going to shoot at us. That guy's a gun. He's going to shoot at us. That guy's got a gun, but oh, a graphic glitch carried over. You know, dude, that's a cool mustache. But, oh, wow, he shot him. You saw it. You saw he shot him. He technically is surrendering, but he still has an MP40 in his hands. Dude, put the gun down. Oh, God, that could open up so many cans of worms, which is why we're not going to do it. And so apparently this is a new type of V2, but as happens so often in real life, boom! And I thought that looked really cool too back in the day. And you know what? Even though it's a simple explosion, it still felt a bit more visceral than the massively super graphical explosions that we get today. And I know that sounds like an old man John kind of thing, but still I get much more emotional satisfaction of blowing that up than I would like that. If we didn't look at that, we wouldn't have seen it. But you know, in a modern game, you're like, you can't miss the giant elevator crash. Let's get out the old Thompson, also known as the Exterminator by some individuals. And it does indeed exterminate enemy units on a regular basis. Really, though, the Thompson, I think, I would not have wanted to have carried the Thompson in World War II, because I wouldn't want to have been in World War II to begin with. But, like, the Thompson, like, it weighed so much, you know? And I don't think it was even that accurate, especially compared to the MP40. But then again, these guns weren't really designed to be super accurate. They were designed to throw as much lead as is humanly possible. And they did well with that. One of the reasons why these submachine guns aren't really accurate is because submachine guns use what's called an open bolt. Essentially, I'm not really sure why they use that, to be perfectly honest. It might be because of ease of manufacture. But what an open bolt is when you have a gun, you close the bolt to, you know, put the bullet ready to fire. Whereas with an open bolt, you don't do that. Okay, we can actually hide back here while a bunch of Nazis go down there. I think those are SS men. I can't tell. They might be like some sort of rocket troop. Now, like, how did he know? How did he know I'm back there? And of course we gotta fight them all anyway, but it is kind of cool that you can do that. It's little elements like that, you know? Shoot him in the back! Now, see, like, that might not seem very sporting. And that was a massive hitch right there. I'm hoping that was just a texture loading, but that might not seem very sporting, shooting them in the back, but in real life, you know, if they see you, they can shoot you. So there is that, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, one thing these guys should be armed with, and I'll get back to the open bolt in a minute, these guys should be armed with STG-44s, because I think this game takes place in 44. You know, they should be armed with, you know, those rifles, which would be a lot better than, you know, just basic MP40s, because they'd be a little bit more powerful. And, I don't know, it's hard to say which would be a better weapon to use in a close quarters environment like this. Now, the Germans never liked shotguns for some reason. Because I would think arming guys with shotguns in here would be a much better idea than even, you know, SMGs. And one thing that's kind of interesting about the STG-44 is Stalin, Comrade Stalin, the big boss. He had his personal bodyguards armed with STGs. And, well, that's not a bad weapon to use, because the STG-44 was a pretty damn good gun. But ultimately, with an open bolt, instead of closing the bolt to get the bullet ready to fire, you instead have the bolt open. But attached to the bolt is the firing pin. So when you pull the trigger, the bolt slams forward with the firing pin into the bullet, and somehow that is better than a closed bolt. I guess because it's better to manufacture, mechanically simpler. I couldn't really tell you. I do not know. But what I do know is that I'm GeneralLotz, wishing you good MP40, good STG-44, or whatever makes you happy.